What's up, everybody? So this video was originally meant to be about restoring chrome bumpers and just kind of bringing them back to life a little bit, but there's no saving my bumpers anymore. They're just so rusted that there's just no point in trying to save them. So I'm essentially just going to use that steel wool and try and just make it look as good as it possibly can, even though it's still gonna look pretty bad. So I've already snapped off 4 or 5 bolts. They're just so rusted. My whole plan was to like paint and, you know, try and shine them up again, but there's no chance at saving them. So they'll get to be as good as they're gonna be, and then in the meantime I'll be looking for newer ones that are used that aren't rusty and aren't bent or anything like that. But there is one thing I can save, and it is my muffler, or my exhaust system, whatever you want to call it. So this is the muffler. As you can tell, there's a decent amount of surface rust on it, but nothing that we can't fix. And then we're just going to be spraying it with a very high heat black paint. That way it looks all nice and pretty, and I can put it back in my car so my car doesn't sound like a giant lawnmower. So let's get to doing this. So the rust pitted it just a little bit, but honestly, like I said before, it's just kind of what you have to expect with a car of this age, and you know, not the best quality of a muffler, but it'll work for what I'm going for right now, until, you know, in the meantime, until I get a new exhaust system for the car. But other than that, we're gonna hang it up, wipe it down, prep it, and then shoot it with the paint. All right, so this is the end result. It is all prepped. Yes, the rust kind of pitted the metal, but like I said before, it's kind of just what you expect when you have an old car and a muffler slash exhaust system that is just not of the highest quality in the world. But for what I'm going for, it'll be perfectly fine. I'm not going for a showstopper. I'm not going for any type of thing. I just want it to have at least something on it to protect it while it's on the car. So I'm gonna go put it on a stand and spray it real quick. All right, and this is the finished product. I'm gonna let it dry, but it's gonna dry a nice matte black. This will be perfect for underneath the car. It'll just be that little tiny detail that kind of stands out subtly. It's like a standout, subtle detail, which I think it came out great. I hung one run, but other than that, I can't complain. Like I said, it's not gonna be a show car or anything like that. It's just gonna be something that pokes out very, very small from underneath the rear apron. I can't be more happy with it. All right, so remember how in the beginning of this video I said that I was gonna skip the bumper stuff? There's no saving my bumpers anymore. I lied to you. We're going to be attempting bumper stuff because I realized they can't get much worse, right? So this will be more of an experiment for me to know whether or not to continue with other bumpers, or just get new ones. So I spared you all of the boring stuff, and I essentially just went in here with 220 grit. I got all of the flake off on the inside, and it's rusty, so I'm not going to try and get rid of all the rust. I'm just going to try and encapsulate it. So I'm going to be just using silver Rust-Oleum paint on the inside, and then shining up the outside. And that's all I'm going to do. That's all I care about. And I might hit the bumper brackets with another bit of Rust-Oleum as well. So the rust for these is just going to be, for lack of a better term, preserved, I guess you could say. So for a couple bucks and a little elbow grease, I think it shines up beautifully. It's not going to get rid of everything, but it's definitely going to shine. Alright, cool. So you have seen the little DIY restoration. Not much of a restoration, it's more of a kind of preservation, if you will, of the bumper. Nice and shiny, everything kind of done. So now it's time to put it back together in its original state so I can get it back on the car so that the car looks finally complete. Helicopter? So today I want to try and tackle the side chrome moldings. Well, these are stainless steel, but the trim moldings that go basically on the quarters, the doors, the fenders, and even the rocker moldings as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty simple job. It just has a little bit of a groove right here. It comes with clips that clip into the fender, and then you put this onto the fender, adjust the length as needed. So we're going to jump into that right now. So as you can see, the moldings are finally on the car. I think overall, like I said, it brings everything together. I haven't been able to put the rocker panels or the rocker trim on yet because I need to paint one more piece. It's this little circle cover, I guess you could say, that goes on the quarter panel, but the trim goes over the cover and I don't have the cover painted, so I got to paint that and then the rocker molding will go on. But I think this came out amazing. It was a quick little 30 minutes to an hour to get everything on the car, and then it just gives it that refined little finished look. So I'm very pleased, very happy. Again, like I say in every video, one step closer to becoming a complete car. So I'll see you on the next one. The next one is going to be interesting. It might be trying to tackle the interior headliner. We'll see. We'll see if we get there. But thank you for watching. If you like classic car content and vintage car content, then be sure to subscribe because I got a lot more coming. I got a video coming on this very soon, actually, maybe next week, so stay tuned for that.